Hey everybody, it's me, Ben, here. I am on YouTube. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And, obviously this week was the trading deadline, which ended on Tuesday, November 4th. That is November 6th now, on Thursday. Um, I want to just talk about, why the Bucs didn't make a move at the deadline. Now, I understand, there are fans, some Bucs fans out there who really want to see this team make moves. Um, for me, the reason why I didn't expect the Bucs to do it. I didn't expect Jason Light to make a move. Um, and there's always this thing about how Jason Light values his draft picks and everything, which he does. And I don't really blame him for that. Listen, we have to put it in a little bit of perspective here. It's worked for Jason Light. Think about the players that were out there that were made tradable, like a Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner, Trey Hendrickson. He didn't get traded, but you look at it and, Trey Hendrickson, for example, is going to be a free agent at the end of the year. And you look at him as really a rental for a team. Now, realistically, I don't think Cincinnati would have made the move anyway. It would have took a lot of draft capital. But with Jason Light, he's not going to do that. For one, especially if you're only going to get Hendrickson for 1 year. Now, I understand Trey's from Florida originally, but also at the same time, you're going to have to give up a lot of draft capital. Same thing with the Max Crosby, who I think the Raiders should have tried to trade, but not surprised they didn't. You could see the previous video I did on that one. But with Jason Light, he has gotten great value out of his second and third round and fourth round picks. I mean, Bucky Irving in the fourth round, Chris Godwin in the second round, Yaya Diaby in the third round. So he's gotten a lot of good picks in those rounds. So I understand why he's not going to give up, draft capital just to bring in a player that, perhaps is only going to be here short term. Right now the Bucs are 6-2. It's not like they're 5-4 or outside of the playoff picture. Despite all the injuries, they're still doing very well. So realistically, you have to look at it as this is not a bad thing for the Bucs not to make any moves. And keep in mind, we have injuries as well. And also, in the offseason, Jason Light brought in Hassan Reddick, defensive end, for a bargain. So when you look at that, why would Jason Light want to make a move now? Now, I know Hassan's injured, but he's going to be back. Could he be playing better than he has this year so far? Yeah, but he's not been horrible. So when Jason Light makes these moves, he usually does it in the offseason. He traded for Jason Pierre-Paul in the offseason. He didn't do it, in season. So he's going to stick with the team he's got now. And this Buccaneers team right now, as I'm currently speaking, is 6-2. Going into Sunday's game against New England, they're going to be fine. This is the team they're going to roll with right now. So there's not going to be really any moves they need to make. They're going to get key pieces back. Luke Goedeke is in the 21-day window to come back. I believe he was like a second rounder. So for the most part, Jason Light has gotten great value with picks in the second, third, and fourth round. And that's why he doesn't want to give up those picks, for a rental that may or may not work out. So I understand why Jason Light stood pat. And the results have shown that he's done a great job with that. So you just got to trust him. Okay, Bucs fans, we'll be fine. Now, Whether we win a Super Bowl or not, you know, this is a good football team. So why, you know, mess with it when you don't have to? Why give up future picks that could turn out to be good players like a Bucky Irving or Luke Gordecki? You know, why do that for a, you know, a player that may or not be back next year? You know, I get it. You know, we're in that window now where, you know, we could be a Super Bowl team. But once we get healthy with all the players, you know, coming back, you know, this team could look very good. Not just this year, but next year as well. And that's another thing we got to keep in mind. You know, guys like Mike Evans aren't going to play forever. Levante David isn't going to play forever. So those picks, those third and fourth round picks, realistically, are going to be of value for Jason Light. And they mean even more not to move him. So again, I get why Jason Light didn't do it. And his track record, his track record has shown that he gets a lot of value out of that, out of those third and fourth round, fifth round picks. So, in my opinion, I'm fine with the Bucs not making any moves. Keep the team we got for this year. Hopefully all the injuries, the players with the injuries come back and make a run in the playoffs. Because right now this team's 6-2 as I speak, and they could be better. So with that being said, that is my view on why the Bucs did not make a move, and I would not panic if I'm a Bucs fan. I get it, the injuries have been piling up, but we're going to get some players back soon and hopefully go on a run in the playoffs. Anyway, with that said, that's all I got for now. I will see you guys later on.